in one avalanche as a you call it victim, and then I've also been in a situation where I had to dig someone out.
Also been digging someone out. He just disappeared.
Daily adventures of love is so rosy and green. Daily adventures of love is so rosy and green. Daily adventures of love is so rosy and green.
Okay, and welcome to another vlog with Lovisa Rosengren, Daily Adventure. This is going to be a different vlog. We're going to talk about safety, and I'm here in Engelberg at the Engelberg Ski Lodge with Sanne Mona, who's been living here for many years and been skiing your whole life. Can you tell me, who are you?
Yeah, so my name is Sanne Mona. I've been living in Engelberg for the last 10 years. I used to be a professional mogul skier from the age of 12 to 20. And then I took a little break, and now I've been a professional athlete on the qualifier tour for the last 8 years, and working here in Engelberg. So this has been my base for the last 10 years.
Amazing. But now, have you stopped competing, or are you going to continue competing at the qualifier, or what are your thoughts about that?
No, now I've stopped competing, and I'm studying at the moment a little bit more, trying to finish my bachelor. And I do shoots, and I'm out on the mountain when I can. But I think competing is finished.
She's also one of the best photo turn skier. Like, your photo turns are so good. And that brings me to the subject we're gonna talk about today: safety in the mountains. Have you, what's your experience about safety in the mountains? Have you ever experienced any avalanches, or?
Yeah, I've been in one avalanche as a you call it victim, and then I've also been in a situation where I had to dig someone out. So in the last 10 years, only 2 incidences so far, which I'm very lucky to just have 2. Since we're out so much, I mean, it's the probability to get into an avalanche is quite high. So 2 so far, and it's taught me a lot.
And I have actually also been digging someone out. It was a day it snowed a lot, and he fell into a bowl, like a terrain trap, and he just disappeared. And but everything was very close. So, but I digged him up, and so that's my experience of safety. And luckily I have never been in anything more than that. And I will hope, knock on wood, Okay, we're gonna do a basic gear check. Like, what should you bring when you're out in the mountains? And this is the basics. What should we bring?
Yeah, we need a backpack, because in the backpack you can have so many things. You will need a transceiver. I have one here. One transceiver. You need to bring a probe, this one. And you will need to bring a shovel, preferably in one of these little pockets that you have on your backpack.
Yeah. And no plastic shovels.
No plastic shovels. They will not do the job properly. That will get you into trouble. I always bring a thermos with a little bit of hot water in case you need it, or tea. I always bring a puffy jacket like the one you're wearing.
Yeah.
And I also have a little first aid kit that I put together. First of all, I have these blankets that can get really useful if someone is injured. It doesn't matter if it's an avalanche or just an injury. You can use these to keep them warm so that they don't get too cold. They cost nothing, and I actually have like 3 in this one. I don't know why, but it's good. And then you have just the small things that you kind of need. Yeah. You could go to like a pharmacy and ask them for a small first aid kit, and they will put it together for you, or you buy one that you can just buy out there. Yeah. Really important. I think that's the basic gear check.
Yeah. And what do you think? Should you have a normal backpack, or should you have one of those airbag backpacks?
Well, that's a discussion. I always ski with an airbag, because I want to keep myself as safe as possible. So I would say yes, always an airbag. But if you have to choose budget-wise, then transceiver, shovel, and probe is the most important, because then you can be found and you can find someone else. And I mean, that's the most critical part of the saving. So I would say if the budget allows it, then I would always go for an airbag for my own safety. For the group safety, transceiver, probe and shovel.
Yeah. If you're out with new people, always check the everyone's gear.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's super important to be able to save someone and to be able to be saved.
I was thinking we were gonna talk about the transceiver. Like, what is a transceiver, and where should we have the transceiver?
This is also widely discussed. You have to choose your own way of where you have the transceiver. For example, I have it in my right pocket on my leg, and you have it on your body a little bit further down. You could also have it in that little pocket that you get when you buy a transceiver. The most important thing with the transceiver placing is that it's secured to you as close as possible to the body. That's number one. And then number two is that you don't want to have any interference, because the transceiver is a small computer, and the computer is sending out signals and receiving signals, and then it goes out in these butterfly effect kind of signals, and you don't want to have anything that interferes. So you want to have the transceiver as far away from your phone as possible, as far away from any metallic objects as possible, like a Snickers bar. If you have a transceiver here and you have a Snickers bar above it in your jacket, then that's going to interfere. It's not going to let the signals through. It's going to give weird directions to the transceiver that is trying to find you. And you kind of want to have a distance of 50 centimeters from these metallic objects or phones. Or for me, example, I have this ring that is kind of like a sport watch, but it's a ring. So this one is actually Bluetooth. So if I would search, if I would be out searching with my ring with this hand, it will give interference. So I always need to search with the right hand. And obviously, if I'm laying somewhere, this one will make interference. So your watch should not be on the same hand as you're searching with, and your phone should be at least 50 centimeters away.
So we're talking about the transceiver, but then we're actually gonna go skiing. And what should I think of like before going skiing? Like how should I prepare?
Yeah. First of all, do you have enough batteries in your transceiver? Don't just change one battery at a time, change all of them. If you're lower than around 60%, just change all of them. Do you have functional gear? Check your backpack, check your gear. Then you need to think about the weather. How does it look like? Where are we going? Is it gonna change over there? How does it look like for the whole day? Could that weather come in earlier? Then you have the avalanche bulletin. That's number 3. You go in and have a look what has happened in the area where you're going skiing before. How does it look like now? Which degree of the avalanche level is it on a 5 scale? And also check which areas are prone to triggering. Where are you going? What are you doing? And then you check from those, from that initiative, you check what is happening on the avalanche bulletin.
And also here in Switzerland, there's like so many areas that is like protected areas, right, which you can see on the map.
Yeah, it's Wildruhezonen in German, so it's where you're not allowed to disturb the wild animals. And so wildlife protection areas, those are marked out red on the Swiss Topo app, for example, or when you look at the maps. You're not supposed to go in there, you could get fined, but you're also not really respecting the nature, and we like nature, so just don't go there.
So soon we're going up on the mountain, and it's a bluebird and powder day today. When we're out there, like what can I think of when we're out there in the resort?
The first thing you wanna think about is, you're getting out there, you got your ski ticket, and you're going up, for example, the lifts. The first thing that I just learned from you today, the emergency number is on the ski lift ticket normally in most of the resorts. So you need to know where you're gonna call, who you're gonna call if something happens. Then when you're out there and you're sitting in the lift, you need to start taking in your surroundings. How does it look like? Do I see already now that some snow is going down? Do I see avalanches that have happened during the night, or slides, or does it look like something has been moving? Then maybe those aspects are actually what's going to be a problem today.
And also I would say could be good to know like where you are, because if you're gonna call you need to know where you are. If you're in Steinberg maybe you need to know that.
Yeah, you need to know where you are.
Yeah.
Otherwise you can't get help.
Group dynamics, how important is the group dynamics, and also like the number of people you're choosing to go skiing with?
Yeah. Maybe this is the basic before you even buy all the gear. Who do I want to be with? No, group dynamic is... it's funny because I've been to a lot of avalanche trainings and basic to advanced, and almost all of the guides are talking about that this is the most critical thing that you ever have to deal with in avalanche situations or in all emergency situations. It's the people you have around you. And no one is thinking about it. Everyone is just happy-go-lucky and going out with your friends. But you do need to have a group setting that is comfortable and safe and kind, and that everyone feels included, and that everyone can be heard. And you need to find people to ski with that has the same values as you do. You have the same goals for the day. That's really important to talk about before you go skiing. Like, what is your goal today? Oh, I just want to ski powder. Yeah, maybe I want to take some photos, or I want to film something. Then you have two different goals, and then maybe you should be in two different groups. Because agitation is also something that stresses everyone, and you should just have a calm and knowledgeable friends and like group dynamic.
Okay, so now we're going up here, and there's gonna be many people up there. Like, how do I act to not get powder stress? Because I feel like that's when everything could go wrong, and you get stressed with all the people.
It's an interesting question, because it's what probably makes it that's the dangerous X factor of everything, that you get stressed and you're not thinking. For me, at least, very personal. It's been that I know that it could be only 6 really good powder days in a season. That could be it. But I need always to think that I want to ski another day.
Exactly.
Yeah, that must be my thinking. And then if you're with people that are making you powder stressed, then maybe choose another group that day. Do you have an answer to this?
No, but I really like what you said first. Like I always have to think about the upcoming, that there's gonna be more season, and you have so much skiing left. So this is not the powder day you have. But I also like I'm really into touring. So for me it could be an option to, instead of like skiing all the resort rounds, I might go what's called slack country, when you take the lift and then you go touring, because then you can also make lots of decisions on your own, because maybe in your resort someone skis above you and stuff like that. But of course you want to take the chance to use the ski lift when it's powder and ski as many runs as possible. Also, one more thing, maybe if you're going into an area where you know you're not going to have any signal at your phone, then maybe buy a Garmin InReach. So check that out. But also, don't forget to have fun. And I want to thank you, Sanne Mona, for these great discussions about safety in the mountains. And yeah, see you in another episode. Thank you.
Bye.
Back in time.